Hey, what's going on, guys? Parker here and Jared. And
What's up,
today
guys?
we're going to be looking at the butterfly effect as a kind of like a theory. So I watched the movie about a week ago. One of the coolest movies I think I've ever seen. It's one of those those mind trick movies that are just kind of quite cool. Um, Jared, you kind of explain a little bit about what it kind of is, though, after you've kind of watched it.
So for me, I've been around a lot longer than Parker. Parker, I got about 10 years, something on him. But let's just say this, okay? For a 21-year-old to just watch it once and somewhat get it, I had to watch the movie 10 times before I understood it. But what it is in theory is that, this guy, right? Ashton Kutcher is the actor who's in the movie. He's playing this role of this guy who jots down his life, in a piece of paper. And one day he goes in and picks it up, right? And then he starts time traveling back in time, kind of through his wrongs. Maybe he thinks that he's going through his rights. And what I think happened is with his brain is he put himself in this place, right? And he thought if he could time travel by reading what he wrote in certain circumstances to understand who he is now and why he is the way he is. I think it did a lot of damage to him. Honestly, I think every time that he tried to time travel back in time and try to fix his wrongs, it just created things and made him worse. What's your thoughts on that, Parker? I know you probably have a lot to say on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that that can actually relate to a lot of things nowadays. I mean, think about how we're always stuck in the past. You know what I mean? How we're constantly none of us
Oh
are
yeah,
present. We're focusing on the past and we're focusing on what we always did wrong, and we live with that like every day. You know what I mean? Like where we just sit there and
all right,
just focus on the past. Like, I wish I did this. I wish I did that. I should have started this sooner. I should have started that later. Um,
yeah.
whatever it may be. But it's a very, very interesting topic. I mean, my kind of thing, the way I kind of interpreted the butterfly effect, like the theory of it, was that like a little change could cause something like astronomical. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
um, like there's an article I was reading. Um, and it was, you remember that flight that was like 10 years ago that I don't know what happened, the Malaysian flight, the MH370. You remember
Okay,
that?
yeah, yeah. It was weird. It was a weird
It was a
situation.
weird situation. Well, yeah, so basically, well, I mean, the theory, of course, that plane probably disappeared. That plane disappeared, right? And there was that second Malaysian
Right.
plane that disappeared too. There was a guy that had tickets to it, to both those flights, yet he missed both of them. Can you imagine if he was on that flight? He wouldn't have made it, but
Yeah.
it was almost like there was maybe
Right.
some divine intervention, or it's just crazy, like something small, like he could have missed his flight because he went to go stop and get a cup of coffee and took too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just something small like that can just be so dramatic, right? Like
Yeah.
a small change can change your whole life.
Right. Another movie that it's a little different. I don't know. Do you remember watching Final Destination? Did you ever get into that series?
No, I never watched that. I used to always see it
So,
at Blockbuster though,
well,
back
it was a weird one because he almost was like past time. Like he actually knew what was going to happen before it even happened. So it's weird because I feel like in a butterfly effect, he's got this theory that he can fix something, right? Or he's even traveling in the time ahead of him. Like he's writing things. It's not just all from the past. It's literally like what he thinks actually happened. But I mean, it's crazy. Some of the scenes in it, you got the arms cut off, and
Oh
he's in the
yeah.
worst position. He's in the worst position of his life, where he's like paralyzed, and she was in the movie. I don't remember the girl's name, but his girlfriend or whatever. She
Yeah,
ended
yeah.
up being this crackhead or something. You know what I mean? Like
I remember
this
that.
drug fiend, and he. It's just funny how you go and vice versa, right? And he's more screwed up than she is in the film. And like
Yeah.
towards the end, when his arms are all cut off, it's like everything he did wrong to her. It almost like I feel like karma, almost like you know what I mean, like in his fury. You know what I mean? That's just I feel like we try to go back in time.
Right.
We can't fix our wrongs. We can't make a memory better. You know what I mean? So
No, but we can definitely heal our karmas though,
yeah,
to an
I
extent.
mean, I think we can, you know,
We can heal it.
but
We can't forget about it, but we can heal it though.
what's your idea on the whole writing the journal and then it playing a factor on the brain? What's your? I mean, how would that do for you? I mean, if you were in his shoes, let's put it in some vice versa effects.
I think I would
Like,
probably start, man, if I had that journal, I think I'd be writing all kinds of crazy stuff and then seeing if I could somehow like change it. You know what I mean? I know it sounds weird, but I think I'd be trying to focus more on like the future than I would be necessarily the past, you know?
yeah. Well, I gotta ask, do you think he was part of the problem?
But
Like
I think,
a lot of these theories that he kept going back into, like when he would time travel, do you think he was the problem, or do you think it was more of the people around him? Maybe
well,
what
I don't think any of it was a problem. I think it was just him trying to just make everything perfect. You can't make it perfect.
right. Yeah.
He's trying to make the perfect life for himself, you know?
Yeah. And one thing I think he did is he was blaming people. You know what I mean? Like in that one case where it was like, you know, the dog scene. I don't know if you remember when the bag and the dog, and you know,
I do.
he he didn't like that. It kind of reminds you of Scarface when you know Scarface didn't want nobody dating his you know his
It's
sister.
sister.
Like logically made no sense, right?
Yeah.
So you know he thought he was in danger, but I mean, it turns out I think if I'm not correct, wasn't he a little scared of Ashton Kutcher in the movie, or my like in a wasn't there one of the theories where he was like where it was vice versa, or am I? I'm
I don't
trying
know
to
if I remember that.
remember.
I think so a little bit. Yeah, yeah. I think it was a little bit where it was kind of fearful. Yes, there come a time where I think he was kind of fearful. Well, I think in the I think that's what got him to prison because I think he tried to come after him and then I think he bludgeoned him or something like that and had to go to prison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that because I mean, there's so many scenes, bro, to go back into.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite character. I don't know. Have you seen American History X yet?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, so you remember the big guy with the crazy hair with the you know, and he's got the pool
The
stick and
freaky
he's
guy. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that guy. No, that was I think that was like that was his roommate, but that guy played in American History X. That's another movie you got to watch. But there's a lot of theories in that one as well. Just you know, but yeah, this movie. This is one of those movies that everyone needs to see. Do you agree, bro?
I
Like,
definitely agree. It's one of those mind movies. Yeah. I wonder, and it is kind of real to some extent, some of that stuff, right?
almost definitely. I mean, I
It's
when I was
different.
younger, before I started doing music, I started writing in the journal, and then I turned my journal into music. So, you know, and then as I go, I kind of, you know, I feed off the news. You know, maybe we're fighting equality, so I'll write a song on equality. You know, how it should be fixed, or whatever the case might be. You know, or, but yeah, I mean, I think time traveling is like it is a part of life, and I feel like you know that movie takes you into a like the most realization you could ever see. Like it
Mhm.
actually, you got to understand like that. Like for instance, I mean, imagine how many relationships. You know what I mean? Who would want to go back into a you know a trauma filled relationship? You know, or try to fix something that was already broke. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah,
there's just like I couldn't imagine it. It's just like, but so many people do it. They go and get remarried. What is that? That's traveling back into, hey, I
totally.
can fix this. Like, I don't know. What's your thoughts on like? I
Time
mean,
travel.
if you could fix your wrongs, would you do it if you could? Like in this sense, I mean, to this
I know it sounds
craziness.
kind of weird, but I think probably not. And the reason why I'm gonna have to say is because, it all kind of contributes to the upgrade the it all contributes to upgrading your consciousness, I think. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
even when you cave in and people that have addictions, like you know what I mean? The reason why they choose the right path is because they've had enough of it. You know what I mean? They're like, I'm done with this. You know what I mean? It just had to just take enough toll on them for them to be like, you know what? I'm done with this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I gotta ask you. So, speaking on addiction, that's a good one. What do you think of the whole relapse theory? I mean, you know how many times a drug addict relapses? I mean, what's your thought problem? Why do you think that
Yeah,
is?
why do I think that is? I think it's actually because our thoughts create our reality. And we think the same thoughts over and over and over again. And we live in this same cycle.
So, beating yourself up in kind of a sequence
Yeah, it's
of,
the same cycle of, I lasted 2 weeks up, I caved in. Lasted another
yeah,
2 weeks, I caved in. I lasted this 1 week, I caved in. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, that totally makes sense. That's a really good
And it's
point that
because
you put.
it's because we live our life the same way. If I said, you know what, I'm gonna quit this, okay?
Yeah,
Let's say I have like a drinking problem, okay? And I cut out all the alcohol, okay? All
right,
right.
right.
But I'm still like my exact same self, you know what I mean? Where it's like I'm just sitting around all day, not really doing anything.
Yeah.
Then I'm bound to relapse, you know what I mean? To cave
Oh,
in.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's because I'm not taking conscious action in other parts of my life. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And kind of going off of the whole relapse thing, I mean, I had a issue when I was younger, hanging around the wrong crowd. I obviously got into addiction. I probably relapsed 15 times, survived a lot of things that happened to me. I don't dive too much into it because that's not on the topic as much. But
Yeah.
I got to ask, have you ever relapsed on something? I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. Have you?
Mm, I mean, I'm sure
Like,
we all kind of have, you know what I mean? On like probably like negative like thought patterns, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Where it's like, I try to like requalify these thoughts, and then it's like, oh man, it's like I keep feeling these. I keep letting my ego kind of take over. I would say mine would be more like the ego, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I think going back in the ego. I mean, we we keep wanting to fix our ego, and sometimes, like with the last lesson that we
Our ego
talked.
is the one that's actually responsible for the relapse. I don't know if you know that.
Oh no, it is. I think,
It is.
but
It's the little voice in the head that's like, you know what, just go for it. You know what I mean?
I think the biggest problem is you got to be careful of who you put around you. If somebody is
Hmm.
around you and you overcame something and it's right in front of you, what's going to happen is you're going to end up just going right back in, like, oh, it's okay. They're doing it. So I guess I can do it. And I've been fighting that a lot lately. I feel, you put yourself around these people and what do you get out of it? I mean, you could relapse, and it's another theory. This is part
Yeah.
of the butterfly effect theory, and the butterfly effect is literally one thing that you make it is. You know what I mean? Like you
Totally.
look at this artwork that we did right here. I mean, this person, I kind of look at her and I'm like, her brain, she's in darkness, right? But she's trying to find light. You see this white coloration in a background. You got these butterflies. Each butterfly is a theory in her brain, right? And it's literally that's how our brain is, bro. Like every day we wake up and it's like, should I do this? Should I do that? How do I fix this? How do I fix that? Like if we just kind of go on with our life, I think that's how we can live in time instead of in the past.
We can't
Um,
be living in the future though either, making up these fault worrying about future.
yeah. Oh, and that's the thing. I think that's where we fall so short in understanding the butterfly effect theory because it's like we want to kind of, like I told you about birthdays, right? Why am I talking about a birthday that's like 2 weeks ahead? You know what I mean? Like who
Oh
cares?
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we're going to the trampoline park. Whoop de doo. Like what what logically does that make any sense? I could die tomorrow, right? But I'm talking about something that's going to happen in 2 weeks. Just because it's paid for and planned doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't
Absolutely
make
zero
sense at
sense.
all. Yeah,
It's
no.
like
Hmm.
live in the moment. Don't go and digress into something that you literally don't even for a fact could probably never even happen. Like so. you
Oh,
know?
I know. I mean, I think we always try to create like fake future scenarios, but the crazy thing is that we don't try to think about the future in a positive light. You know what I mean? We tend to look at the future in a negative way, as in we don't try to access our higher self sometimes. You know what I mean? Like we're just kind of thinking in the future, like am I gonna be able to pay my bills? You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
what are my finances gonna look like next month? Am I gonna have to dip into my savings? Am I gonna have to do this? What is this gonna be like? What's that gonna be like? You know what I mean?
right. Oh no, I agree. I mean, it's like we're just living in this. We need to learn to live in the moment and understand it, but also like when you come to the financial part of things, like okay, you get a bill in the mail, right? And like first thing you think is, okay, I gotta pay it right this second, even though you got 3 days to pay it, right? Like
Mhm.
you gotta understand, like, yes, take care of your priorities. Um, so you can move on to the next step. I think that's another thing is it's like if you don't take care of what you know you have to take care of and you're so far ahead of trying to fix something ahead of it, it's just you're gonna get in that theory of the butterfly effect where it's like you're you're literally time traveling forward. Like in the movie, he tried
Oh
to
yeah.
time travel. He didn't just do it backwards. He tried to do it forward, and he tried to understand why this happened and why that happened. And that journal did a lot of damage, honestly. I mean, but you and me preached on a couple episodes back where it is good to journal, but be careful what you write. You know what I mean? It could come back and haunt you. I mean,
You think
but
so?
don't.
You really think so?
I don't. I think he did have a mental, a lot of mental. I mean, you got to understand when you're battling depression. I think he did battle trauma from his past life, so he had depression already. I mean, you look at that scene. We're not gonna dive into that one scene because we both know that scene is very touchy. But with the guy with the camcorder down, and that was a traumatic experience. I think that's where his brain was always stuck on. I think it was just that, and then
Oh, I think so too.
I think that was really where his trauma. So we all have trauma. Yes, it is smart to write in your journal or read, like you said in the
Hmm.
last episode. But if you're mentally not there with it, you could time travel in the worst way possible. I mean, not saying
True.
that you shouldn't. But yeah, that was where his trauma was. I mean, if you want to go on a mental aspect, because that was the thing. When people watched this movie, they walked out of it when this scene happened. I think it was in the jail scene when something was happening to him in jail, and obviously, I'm not going to digress. There was a lot of horrific, scenes that had happened in the movie, but this is realization. He put himself in jail, right, and
Oh
this
yeah.
fear in this aspect and whatever. But his trauma was with that guy and the little when they were little, downstairs in the room. That was where his trauma had started, and nothing else had created that throughout the whole movie. I think, obviously her brother, not accepting that he was in love with his sister, that was another thing. But
Oh yeah, for
he,
sure.
he made him out to be the bad guy when, there was times when he was the bad guy. So,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
No, it's interesting. Yeah.
I I kind of want your closing argument on this. So what do
Yeah.
you we'll end it off like this because we won't make this episode too long because it is kind of we
Well,
might
it's
have to
tricky
break.
too because I've only seen the movie once, so it's like I still,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
we're gonna make a part two, but you got to watch it a couple more times. I got it too, bro, because I've seen it like 30 times and I still there's certain parts I don't understand. I know you're like that too a little with the little
Oh yeah,
bit,
yeah.
right?
With a lot of those movies, yeah.
So for my closing argument, I think kind of try to live in the moment. Enjoy life in the moment. Don't be 10 steps ahead and don't be 10 steps behind. I mean, we learn from our past traumas and life goes on. You can't
Yeah.
just dwell on something that happened yesterday. Who cares what happened yesterday? You're in the now. You make yesterday in the
Hmm.
now, right?
Yeah.
You're the problem, right? Then you are the
Exactly.
problem. Nobody else. You're gonna blame everybody else for that's you. That's on
Mhm.
you, and you got to
For
live with
sure.
that.
I
What you
would
got to
say
say though? What's your closing on the butterfly effect theory, bro? I want to hear it. Let's hear it, my brother.
I would say that my closing argument on that is to, like you said, of course, staying present, but I think don't focus on what you don't want. You know what I mean? Don't focus on low frequency um things. Don't focus on like the past. Don't focus on like the negatives of what the future might look like. Focus on what you want. You know what I mean? Focus on your purpose. You know what I mean? If you are gonna be stuck kind of like looking into the future, be thinking of it more in like a positive light. Don't be thinking of it more as like this survival struggle type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Be have confidence and have faith that that you can achieve whatever you want. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It may take a little bit of action or but just align your thoughts with what you want and your soul's purpose and it'll all just come.
yeah. No, I agree, brother. I do agree. You know what kind of surprises me is your age, bro, and how, you're 21 and you watch this movie once and you understood it more than I ever understood it, bro, which is I'm kind of jealous a little bit. I'm
You
not gonna
think so?
lie,
I don't
bro.
know. I don't know if I did
Yeah,
understand it that
because
well,
I
but
had to
yeah,
watch it. I had to watch it 30 times, and you were able to break it down very well just for your first time. So I think what we should do,
yeah.
we should break down a couple other movies because I got a list. I think Fight Club. I know you had brought that up. Let's do it, man. Let's make it
That one
happen
I can't
because
understand one bit. So you can kind of explain
I
that one.
I don't know though. I feel like it is all mental. This is the movie you guys all have to check out. Okay, Butterfly Effect. Go check it out on Amazon. I think it's like $10. Buy it on
No, it's
DVD.
free on
Don't.
Netflix. It's free on Netflix.
Oh, it's free on Netflix for now. Who knows? Who knows?
Well, watch it
If
now. That way you
it,
don't gotta pay for it.
yeah, go on Netflix. Watch it for. Yeah, well, you still unless you have the subscription, obviously. If you don't, then go just buy this movie. It's probably $10 on Amazon. I say it's worth buying. What do you say, bro?
So
I
it's
mean,
definitely.
worst
I
case
mean, I
scenario.
mean, yeah, there'd be a couple movies that I wouldn't mind owning, though. You know what I mean? But yeah, people don't really seems to be like a lot of people
Oh
just
yeah,
buy movies anymore. But yeah, I agree.
yeah. It's definitely one of those movies. But that was our closing.
All right.
Parker, if you have anything more you want to throw out there, you let me know. Or we're
I
out
think
then.
I'm set. I think we'll wrap it up here. All right.
All right. Yeah.
All
Cheers.
right, Parker.
We're out.